If you thought your day was bad, listen to this drama. Get comfortable, pop a squat. Let me read you some really crappy stories. We're starting off with, I racked up $20,000 in personal charges on my company credit card. What'd you do? Vegas trip, a little strip club action. What is it? Tell me, clothes, designer bag? I'm very curious. I love that my mind went to strip clubs in Vegas, out of all things. This story was posted June 4th, 2015. That was over a decade ago, and that's crazy. I racked up $20,000 in personal charges on my company credit card. The short version of the story is that I genuinely misunderstood the way my corporate credit card was to be used. So not a strip club in Vegas. I've been using it over the last few years regularly for personal reasons, including medical, car payments. A car is required for my job, but it's not covered under expenses, and just general personal shopping. My girlfriend did not have income for 2 years, and I used the card to cover expenses beyond my paycheck. So your girlfriend also technically used the credit. I can use PayPal to get cash out of the card and into my bank account. So what I have been doing is waiting until the bill is due, a new billing cycle, and taking out that amount with PayPal, and then using the cash to pay it off. Plus adding in my own money to try and reduce the balance a little. This just means I get charged PayPal fees for cash advance, and it means nothing more is due until the next billing cycle. This results in the next month having that balance plus charges minus any and all money I can put towards it out of my own pay, which is generally $2,000 a month. Somehow, I have managed to rack up a rolling balance of $20,000 on this card, and I can't ever pay it off all in one go. I had a bankruptcy a few years ago, and I cannot qualify for a loan to cover the full amount. I am scared to bring it up with my manager because it might mean I will lose my job once they realize what's been happening. And if I lose my job, I will no longer be able to contribute the $2,000 each month towards paying the balance off. Some people even have suggested I might be up for serious legal problems, and I just feel so stressed out every single day about the situation. Here's what I'm not understanding.
I understand nothing.
Wouldn't you want to check in on what you're allowed to use the credit card for before you start paying off bills, covering any of your girlfriend's expenses since she's out of work? Surely, before I even touch that credit card, I am making sure I understand what it's to be used for. No? Where's the miscommunication? Did we not communicate at all? Let's check out the comments so far. Someone asked the OP to clarify on if it was allowed and that they could just pay it back before anyone noticed. Interesting. I mean, I don't think this is allowed, but you could pay it off. Maybe, how long will it take you to pay it off? Let's just see what they write. OP wrote back saying, well, there's a bit more to it. My main job function changed dramatically. After working for the company for 2 years on site at a client office, I was informed that the client had canceled the contract, so I would need to do another function, which would require driving all over town instead of being based in the office. My manager said point blank that if I did not get a car within the week, there was nothing he could do for me. He stated clearly and explicitly that the company card could not be used for personal expenses. So where's the miscommunication, my friend? But he also mentioned that it would not be checked up on if it got paid in full each month. So, with that information, I made the decision to go forward. I truly thought that all would be okay as long as I did whatever it takes to pay the balance in full each month, and it seems to have held true so far. But at the same time, I'm aware that the company policy states no personal expenses. The original plan was to use the money for a deposit on a car, and once the car was paid off, I would then have the car as an asset, which I could use as security on a loan, which I could use to pay off the credit card. Oh my God. So not a miscommunication at all, just a very poor decision. All was going to plan, but the car got written off due to the engine totally breaking down after a month, so I then had to get another deposit on a second car. That was also okay until one day while at a red light, a semi-truck smashed it up and the second car was nearly paid off, but then it got written off as well. Luckily, for the second car, I did have insurance, but the insurance company only agreed to pay out the remaining balance on the car loan, and so I was again carless. Third car deposit, and 4 years later, I am feeling trapped in this cycle where I am getting about $600 in PayPal fees every month. I am now starting to get unwell from the constant stress, and I thought that HR might see it as theft, and I could be sent to jail, lose my job, and lose my reputation and ability to get another job. Basically, I am terrified that I've ruined my life completely through an act which was made at the time of high stress and was short-sighted, but done with the intention of saving my job. I don't know if it is relevant, but I have ADD, so impulse control, particularly when under stress, has always been an issue for me, and the whole thing was really traumatic when changing roles and several other factors. My mental state was definitely not clear at the time that I started doing this. Yikes. You are in what they would call a pickle. I love pickles. I don't like being in them, but I like eating them and drinking the juice. Now I really want a pickle. I have one left in my fridge. One pickle left. I might go eat it after this video, to be honest. We have an update, so let's find out what the heck happened to this guy and his job. The update came July 20th, 1.5 months later. I went to my manager and I just laid it out on the table, cut out any mention of factors as to how I got there, and just laid it out. I have $20,000 in personal expenses on the company card, and I can't immediately pay it back. He had to go to his boss, and she had a teleconference with me, along with HR. Along with the meeting invite, they attached the company credit card policy along with the ethics policy. The first question they asked, do you understand how a company card is supposed to be used? I said that I have read the documents they gave me, and from reading them and talking to my manager, it is very clear that the way I have been using the card up until now is inappropriate. The next thing they asked was, just to be clear, you have $20,000 of personal expenses and you can't pay the entire amount in one lump sum. Is that what you are saying? Then they asked, how will you pay it back? I said that I am happy if I pay it back until it is covered. My manager's boss said she is not happy with that because it will put me under stress, which might lead me to some other act of desperation or make my job performance suffer. She further stated that because it is such a large amount, they do not have the budget to pay it in order for me to repay the company slowly. She went on to explain that the American Express corporate card is not a true credit card, but a debit card, and therefore the company must clear the bill each month or face fines, penalties, and a breach of the agreement that our company has with American Express. Honestly, I'm starting to sweat. For you. She asked if I have fully explored loans, friends, family, and all other options. I said that I had, and I could provide rejected loan applications to show the effort I've been going through to get this debt into my name. She said they need to go back to the finance team to figure out the next steps, and she stated she would schedule a meeting for me Thursday of this past week. I haven't heard back regarding this, and I assume she's still waiting to hear back from the finance team and attempting to come up with a fix for the situation. She says that the issue of the misuse of the company card is a secondary issue, and the first is how to pay the bill. My manager rang me just after this meeting finished. He was full of support and offered to write up the cost of losing me. He said he would like to show his boss that it would cost 4 times the $20,000 for him to outsource coverage and hire a new person, not to mention the interruption the client would experience. He said I need to put together a budget showing my income and expenses, and he suggested I do $100 per week personal spending in the budget so they will see the game plan that I come with as sustainable. He informed me of a few company policies, whereas employees can cash out a week of holiday pay each year with approval, and he said he is happy to approve that. Also, he will find out if I can cash out retirement funds to help with this, and he is offering as much overtime work as possible. He suggested that I seek an out-of-hours job to supplement this and that it be restricted to weekends, only because I'll get burned out and might not stick to the plan. I'm so shocked that you just didn't get fired on the spot. But it makes sense. He suggested I compose an email full of action words like, I can commit to X dollars per paycheck rather than I'll try to repay it ASAP. He even kindly offered to proofread my email and look it over before sending it to HR upper management. He mentioned that the likelihood of legal proceedings is low due to it being easier for them to get the money from me if I am still working, and at least in New Zealand, it's bad for the company reputation to take a hard road on their employees. While he says he cannot predict the outcome, he will support every effort to retain me. He suggested as a start to just offer to relinquish the credit card and offer to expense legitimate things through my bank account going forward. I put together a quick budget reflecting that with no more spending on the card and no more monthly PayPal fees, I can get this paid off within 12 months through payroll reductions alone. And I have stated that I'm still exploring any possibility of loans as well as seeking overtime and the possibility of some weekend work to reduce the time frame for total payback. I am shocked they didn't fire me on the spot. Same. And relieved that it seems legal action is low on the list of likely outcomes, and totally amazed at their level of understanding and willingness to help me. It's like this huge, scary, heavy, unknown thing that has been causing me depression and taking my mind to very dark, dark places over the last 4 years is now lifted, and I can see the light. At the very least, it's not going to grow any bigger. PayPal fees are out of the equation, so any contribution I make is going 100% towards the outstanding amount. You know, my friend, I think I am standing 2 inches taller. Just waiting for the second meeting in a bit of limbo, but so far it's better than this terror I have put myself in over this. We have a final update though, and it came a long time after. 16.5 months apparently. December 6th, 2016 is what it says. The update is, I have repaid Amex, American Express, in full, and with the habit of saving firmly established, I have a little bit of a safety net in place, so things will not likely get that bad ever again. I got a promotion in my job later on in the year that came with a pay raise, so I was actually able to get it taken care of in 9 months instead of 12. Life is all good, and I am very thankful for all the opinions here. Some of the info was very valuable in my approach. Things could have taken a very different path. I'm still shocked, to be honest. I don't know if every company would have been so forgiving and willing to help, but it had a happy ending. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my fiance her tattoo of my deceased brother makes me uncomfortable? Yikes. And this story is pretty hot off the press, people. September 14th. 2025. So for context, my older brother, 30 male, while I am 29 male, passed away 3 years ago in a motorcycle accident. This messed me up severely, still does. I cannot imagine. He was my best friend and we were inseparable since we knew each other. Even if he was older, he was never that stereotypical older brother bully sort, and I loved him for that. Anyway, my fiance, who I'll call Bella, is 28 female and met him only a few times, but always said she admired our bond as she has no real siblings of her own. She only has step siblings, but they aren't close. A few weeks ago, Bella surprised me with a tattoo she got in memory of my brother. It's this pretty effing big, realistic grayscale tattoo of his face with a little Snoopy icon beside it on her upper arm, with his nickname that we use and his birth and death dates underneath. When I saw this, I was stunned. She said she did it as a tribute to him and to support me because she knows how much I still struggle with the grief. I honestly didn't know what to say at first, but the more I sat with it, the more it bothered me. I told her, as gently as I could to be honest, that I appreciated the gesture, but I found the tattoo really uncomfortable. Like, it's unsettling to see his face on my fiance's body. Like, it's too much, especially since they barely knew each other. She got upset and said I was being weird about a nice gesture and making her regret doing something beautiful, her words. Now she's distant and my mom thinks I should just be thankful that someone loved my brother enough to memorialize him. But first off, I didn't ask her to do this, and now I'm stuck with a fiance that won't even talk to me properly, and my brother's perfectly black and gray eyes staring at me when I'm laying beside her. And honestly, I don't even want to think of how horrifying sex would be with that on her arm. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Am I being unreasonable? Is it my right to ask her to get it covered up or like zoinked off? This is crazy. Wow. Ooh, I totally understand his reasoning. I really do, but I also understand hers. And here she was with really good intentions, thinking she's doing something beautiful and you're gonna love it. Oh no. Oh no. And to get something that size covered up or lasered off, not a fun process. I think I'm gonna get some of my tattoos lasered off actually this winter. I might do it. I don't know. Anyways, not about my tattoos. We have an update and it came the next day. After breakfast this morning at around 7:30, it's 10:34 as I write this, by the way. I sat down with my fiance and I spoke about the situation. I basically echoed all the comments I've received, which by the way, I'm so grateful for the most part, because some of them were crazy. Welcome to Reddit. Anyways, I told her again that the tattoo made me very uncomfortable and wasn't the leap she needed to take to comfort or support me on my journey with grief, as I still had a firm belief that she didn't do this in a malicious manner. She was quiet initially and then asked if she could explain herself, and I said that I was willing to listen. To summarize, she said she simply got the tattoo because she thought it would symbolize the extent she would go to love me and support me, and said it in that way I had both people I loved so much in the same place. She did say she was sorry and that she wouldn't have done it if she knew that I wouldn't have liked it. I asked her why she hasn't spoken to me about it prior, and she said it wouldn't have been a surprise then, which is what she wanted it to be. She also said, and I'm remembering this fresh and internally cringing as I write this, that the tattoo was meant to be a symbol of a new beginning because we're going to get married in a couple of months, and she wanted to turn over old leaves. I'm still stuck on what she meant, so I'd appreciate any word sleuths helping me in this. To wrap it up, I said I didn't want to end our relationship over this and I really wanted to move on from it, but that she needed to either cover it up or get it lasered off, and she was, to say the least, not very happy about it. Said a cover up would be complicated and would take too long, and said laser might be painful and look scary from the videos. She also said she likes how the tattoo looks along with her other ones, and asked if I would be okay with her just covering it up either with clothes or foundation. I was as firm as I could be, and mind you, this is the woman I have loved for 5 years straight, so admittingly I'm soft, but I reiterated that I wanted it gone by a cover-up or a laser. She was quiet then, and that's honestly where the conversation ended. She already left for work at 10, and I'm going to start my own now, as I work remotely from home after I finish this. Anyways, I hope this works out, and I would appreciate any advice. Let's find out if it in fact works out. But let me know, if you guys were girlfriend, would you get it covered up or lasered off because it made them uncomfortable? Or are you saying, I did something nice, I'm not going through that again, we need another compromise? What a wild situation this is. The update came 2 days later. It's final. I've broken up with her. I don't even know why I'm writing this other than to get some closure on the situation and maybe some support. Last night, when Bella came home from work, I made sure to make dinner and asked if we could talk after dinner in the back garden. She said that was okay, but that she needed time to shower and unwind before dinner, so she'd be a bit late, but that I could start eating. I agreed, and she went upstairs while I ate the dinner I had made with the TV on in the back. She came down about an hour later, while I was winding things up and washing the dishes from earlier, and I offered to get her a hot plate, and she agreed, saying she would eat it on the couch in our living room rather than the kitchen where we have a dining room table. I said that was fine, and I brought it over to her, and I gave it to her while she was sitting, her hand out to take it. I somehow managed to drop it, and the hot spaghetti went all over her. What a mess. Also painful. I immediately apologized profusely and I went to grab her some water and tissues and towel, but she just started screaming at me. I do not want to make myself sound like a victim in this, so I want to be careful with how I write this. But yes, she started saying that I did it on purpose and that I was punishing her for our conversation that morning and for the tattoo in general. I immediately defended myself as I brought over a damp towel and some tissues and said I knew I had a steady grip on the plate, so there was no way I had done it on purpose, also saying that I always spoke respectfully and calmly to her about the tattoo situation and that I would never escalate things like this. Things beyond are a blur, but we had a big fight and she broke many, and I mean many, of our glasses and plates, even trying to pull off a cabinet door in our kitchen that was already not in good condition and threw anything around her at me. By the end of it, I said I couldn't be with her anymore and that this was the last straw, and I left for my parents' house. I haven't returned and I haven't picked up any of her calls or messages, and I'm honestly afraid of what she'll do to my belongings if she so easily broke so much of the crap that we bought together. I'm still at my parents' house and I haven't told them either, but I think this is it. And there is no other update after that. So one could assume that in fact was it. All aboard Hydration Station. Grab your beverage, but drink some water. I got my cutesy cup again with the cutesy little bow. Cheers. You guys, I always think it is so important to document a good ponytail hair day. You don't always get a good ponytail, you know? But sometimes you do, and when you do, you should document it. I'm also covering up because I'm not wearing a bra. Anyways, full ponytail. It's working today. Next story. Our wedding coordinator canceled the day before our wedding. What do you even do in that case? Do you have like a backup? I don't know how wedding planning works, but oh. This story is also fairly new and it came September 15th, 2025. Location, Pennsylvania. We got married in the afternoon of Saturday, September 13th. In the early morning of Friday, September 12th, our day coordinator sent an email that she was canceling her event management service due to an unforeseen personal matter. Most of what was listed as services in the original contract didn't happen because they were in-person services for the day of the wedding, like providing bathroom baskets, setting up before the ceremony, helping line up and cue the professionals, coordinate timing of speeches, cake cutting, etc. Though she had helped us with the timeline, so we did get some service. It was very stressful 24 hours, but thankfully all of our other vendors went above and beyond to still make things run smoothly. In the original contract, it states that in an event of illness or other unforeseen circumstances where the primary contact is unavailable, they will make every reasonable effort to find a replacement. Considering that a few days before she said on the phone her assistant would be available should anything happen, she had flaked on other scheduled commitments, so I had asked about this. It was quite a surprise when we got a full cancellation email. She also attached a letter saying that she would refund 50%, and at the bottom put a non-disparagement agreement that stated, as part of this cancellation and refund arrangement, both parties agree to refrain from making any negative or disparaging remarks, written or verbal, about one another in any capacity, including online platforms, social media, or other public forums. My question is twofold. Number one, we are going to try and get all of our money back, or at least 75%, and threaten her with either a Venmo dispute, we paid as goods and service less than 180 days ago, or small claims court. I think with all the email and text evidence we have, we'd have a good case for breach of contract, but the total amount of the service was around $950, so I'm not sure if it's worth it. Number two, if we wait until getting the money back, are we allowed to write a negative review based on her non-disparagement agreement? I didn't sign anything to that effect. We definitely want to warn other couples planning their wedding about her. Interesting. She's answering a lot of the questions I have, to be honest. So we have an update, and it came 2 weeks later, September 28th, 2025. Oh, she's giving us all the updates in point form. I love this. All right, number one, we decided to email a long list of the ways we believed they breached our contract, including not making every effort, or any, to find a replacement if an unexpected circumstance arose, and also asked for a full refund within 7 days. Number 2, they responded saying they would only be able to provide 50% refund after we signed the non-disparagement, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, agreement. Good job to those of you who thought they would eventually ask us to sign it. Number 3, we responded saying we would sign it if we were provided a 75% refund. As one commenter suggested, our plan was to then write a non-review review. We cannot say more publicly, but please DM if you are thinking of working with this company in one of our local wedding Facebook groups. So wording it like that by saying, we cannot say more publicly, but direct message us if you want to know what happened. Interesting. What a nice little sly way to get around that. 4, they responded saying that due to still needing to pay their staff, despite the cancellation, they could only provide a 50% refund, but that they are welcome to do a Venmo dispute for the full amount and they would honor it. Number 5, we did file for a Venmo dispute. We had paid using goods and services and included all of the correspondence and the original contract, etc. The day of coordinator must have promptly non-contested with Venmo because they ruled in our favor the next day. They did reach out and asked us to confirm that we received the money. We responded saying we did and have not had any further contact. Since we did not sign any of their non-disparagement agreement, we are planning to post a review. A few of you suggested that they might have double booked, but we didn't see anything on their social medias as of today. I guess we'll never know if they did have a family emergency and didn't have their supposedly confirmed backup available, or if it was some kind of scam. But at least we got our full money back and don't need to worry about them suing us for defamation since we never signed anything. Wow, very interesting. I just feel like I learned a lot. So that's what happens if your wedding coordinator cancels the day before. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on all this, you guys. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.